I was gonna say, like, we call this enjoyour24. I have the same birthday as Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just stop then.
Sorry, man.
Oof.
It just comes up naturally, you know?
It does.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. 2023. Shit. It's been 3 years. 3 years since he passed, man. Jesus Christ, that was a bad day. Meego, do you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember.
What were you doing? Do you remember when you found out the news?
Probably was at the gym.
I was at the gym, yep. I had just finished training
Boxing
session.
gym?
Yeah.
So you were at the gym, huh? When you found out?
Yeah, like just finished training session. I'm walking in my socks, like, yes. And then I'm like,
fuck.
same reaction as most people. Like, this is BS.
Yeah, I
right?
thought it was
Like,
bullshit. Yeah, I thought it was bullshit in the beginning. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I knew something was wrong because when I woke up, I had like 10 missed calls, 20 texts. I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah.
And I got a text from a person that I don't talk to anymore. So I was like, okay, wow, something is really off. And then I saw that text with the TMZ photo. I'm like, come on, bro, that's not fucking real. Get the fuck out of here. And I walk in the living room. I'm refreshing Twitter, and then it was there. And then we went on the news. Boom, every news station, every channel. Yeah, it was weird, man. I don't know. It's it was a tough day, but 2023, shit. I mean, do you guys feel like, I don't know, it's not that big of a deal anymore? Just New Year's. I think the whole thing with like, oh, New Year, new me, 2023, let's get it. I think that actually puts more pressure on you to like have, you know.
I think for me, like, New Year's is, especially we talk about like last year, like a 31st, it's kind of always for me, like, just kind of reflection. Like, I reflect big time on like the year, how it went, like what happened to me, what I did, what I didn't do, what I accomplished, you know, what I learned. Like, that's like a big one for me. And then I get excited in terms of that, and it's kind of like what's in store for next year. I don't kind of think about like new year, new me or nothing like that. What's going to come along my way? Like, what am I going to do to have another great year?
Yeah.
That's what I kind of think about. I was talking about it with Zoe.
Yeah.
The other day.
I mean, yeah, like
I think it's like, we always try, like the new year, new me. We always try to find something or some time to start. It's like, oh, I'm going to start Monday. I'm going to start next month. I'm going to start at the beginning of the month. I'm going to start in the beginning of the year. We always try to find a timeline to do the new us. Like, why don't you just do it now? Just like wake up in the morning, literally. Just why do you have to go to sleep and starting it next morning? Why don't you just do it now? Just do it. Just fucking do it. Like, why does it have to wait until a new year or until a Monday or until I don't know, like next morning, or like I'll do it do it now. It's so simple. Like,
yeah.
Why do you have to be the best version of yourself in the new year? Why don't you have to be the best version? Why don't you have to be better today than yesterday?
Yeah.
Right? Like, just work on it. It's supposed to be a constant work on yourself. Like,
yeah.
it's supposed nonstop. I have this thing, and I heard it on Huberman. He says, we all have the last decade of our lives. How do you want to live that? We don't know when the last decade of our lives is, right? It might be now for me. It might be now for anybody, right? So how do I want to live the last decade of my life? Regardless, like, you want to live partying, go party all day, right? If you want to live like myself, I want to live healthy. I want to be able to jiu-jitsu every day, and I want to be the best shape that I am, right? Like that. I want to be better today than I was yesterday, right? So I'm just gonna do this. So I'm gonna keep getting better until I can't.
Right.
I'm not gonna wait for something to, you know,
because it's like time is continuous, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when we say 2023, 2022, it's a social construct. Like it actually doesn't even mean anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Like, you're putting like a time thing like on yourself, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna be this starting this year. What if you stop? So now that's just been a time of 6 months where you were doing this thing. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't see the benefit enough for it to continue.
Right.
You know, and like for me, like I like to do like some things where, like, for example, starting the new year, like let's say health. I'm gonna start my routine before, but keeping in the back of my mind that I'm the only one doing this. I don't want to think about anybody else like that. Like, it's just me. I'm getting the jump for the new year, like that. Or, well, some things like I'm gonna work out on Christmas.
Because it's another day. Christmas is just
That's what
another.
I'm
that's just
saying.
another
Like,
day,
it's
man.
another
It's
day.
just-
So like,
you know.
and I do think about that sometimes as well. When I do think about other people, is like, I'm training. I know that others aren't, especially in my field. You know, or if I'm working with an athlete late at night when the gym is closed. Some people think the gym is just closed,
Right.
but there's someone in here with me, yourself, right? Meego, you probably had those days, plenty of those days. Like, I'm in here, I know that I'm getting better. And those are like the days that like it gives you the most like confident.
Right.
So to what Migo's saying, like, you just make the change right away. There's nothing stopping you.
Right. Right.
You don't got to work on other people's time schedule. We all have the same time. Like we're all in 2023.
Yeah.
You could start whatever you want to do.
We hear that a lot in the fitness industry. A lot of people find excuses starting, right? It's like, I get a lot of people. I'm like, why don't you come and do a class? It's like, oh, I need to be in shape. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? You want to be in shape? Like, this is why you want to do it, because so you want to be in shape. You don't be in shape to do a fitness class. You go do the fitness class to be in shape, right? But people always find excuses. Like, I want to be in shape. Oh, I'll wait till next month, or I'll wait, I don't know, something like my birthday, or I'm too old. I'm
This
like,
is bugging me. This
something
part of my
like, yeah,
body's
like I
bugging
have
me.
this yeah, like some injury, this is bugging me, blah blah blah, like I can't do it. And then they end up not doing anything about even the injury, right? Like, or like stuff like that, right? Like, you hear that a lot, right? Oh, I'm not in shape, all these excuses, they don't mean shit. Seriously, they don't mean anything.
Like, we
If
hear
you're
it
not
so
gonna start
much.
now, yeah, exactly. We hear
In combat, like in the field you guys are in.
in fitness industry
in
in general.
fitness industry in general, you know, like, I think, for example, like if someone's gonna tell me like, yeah, like I sit a lot at work, my hips is tight. Okay, let's get to the root of this before we can do all these X, Y, and Z exercises, or like getting you talking about all that stuff comes down the line. Like, you got to think about like what can help you get started, kind of thing, and take small gradual steps. Like, here's some exercises that you can do at home for your shoulder or for your knee,
Yeah.
so you can go for a walk in the morning.
Some people just think that's boring though. Like, is it really doing anything? I remember
Then go with the
doing that. And I'm
Go
like,
work with a coach, right? Like, I have some clients, they come in and then they're spending $150 an hour, and they be like, my shoulder is hurting today, so let's just do some therapy. I'm like, and I work them on mobility and stuff. We don't do anything. We just work. You know, like, if they can't do it at home, I mean, if you can afford it, you know, find someone to do it with. Now, if you can't afford it, that's something else. That's totally different, right? But if you're just finding excuses, right, then, and if you think it's boring, you can't do it at home, then go somewhere and do it with someone. There's so many, especially
Like
here, there's so much available. Like, it's crazy, dude. You throw a rock and it will fall on a personal trainer. Literally, right? Like, there's so many trainers. I mean, I'm not saying like there's the good ones and they're the bad ones.
yeah,
right?
you can get it pretty easily. To be a personal, anyone can be a personal trainer.
Yeah. I mean, you
just,
get the good ones and the bad ones, but gyms, fitness, like anything related to fitness, if you want to do it, it's so easy. It's intimidating to a lot of people. Yes,
right.
probably that's why they find excuses. But find a place, find a location, find a person that you're comfortable around. You know, like,
Right.
don't. I say this. you're not allowed to bitch about something you can change. If it's something you can change it, you can change. Just don't bitch about it. If you be like, oh man, I can't believe it. Like I had so many drinks last night and I'm so hungover and I hate this. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have drunk last night. Right? Or like, oh, like I'm so like lazy and I can't move and I'm like just sitting playing PlayStation all day. I don't know what to do. Well, you can change that, right? Or like my stomach hurts. I'm eating all this shit, right? These things, right? Like if something you can change, don't bitch about it. But now if it's something a little bit out of your, something you cannot really have, like it's fine, yeah, complain about the weather. That's okay. I mean, you can't change it.
What type of clients do you guys usually get when like for Rain City or Hero when they come in for martial arts or boxing? Is it more athletes that are insecure and want to learn self-defense? Like, have you ever gotten kids that are like, yo, I'm here to like learn because I get bullied and I want to fuck this guy up?
We're totally different. Rain City down here, that's totally different.
But
I mean, like, what's the range?
Funny one is like, Meego, you heard this a lot. Is I want to compete. Yeah,
I
want to fight one day. Like, okay, like you gotta do this. This is how you start. Do you have any background in this? Like, for me, I like to ask like simple questions, like, oh, like, do you come from playing sports, right? Things like that. But for me, like, I hear a lot of, now I want to try something new. Within the boxing, like now it's grown so much. It's online. It's everywhere. People keep up with it. Combat sports, like, it's very popular now. So a lot of people are more trying it. That's what I hear a lot. So I just want to try something new, or like I've always wanted to try it. That's what I hear frequently right now.
But you can tell like pretty soon if someone says they want to compete. Can you tell within like you don't really want to compete? Like it's think you do, bro. I'm not gonna lie. The couple times I sparred with you, and the time I sparred with you, Meego, I was like, oh wow, okay, this is what it's like to get hit. It's different.
Yeah.
I didn't even get hit. It was just like a fucking love tap.
Yeah.
But I left that thinking, oh shit, like you need to be a different breed to really fucking take one to the dome.
Now,
and
sorry, I will always give someone the benefit of the doubt that they can compete in combat sports or in anything that they can do. You just have to put the time and effort and the trust in the people that are around you, right? Like if you're going to work with me and my client, these are some of the things that we're going to exercise and we're going to work. Not only just the technical aspect, but your mind.
The mental aspect, yeah.
The mentality is the biggest thing. Like if you get hit by one of us, we'll make sure you're okay, but I expect you to kind of learn from that without me having to tell you something. That space in itself is already one of those things where our training is working to where you're be able to say, okay, I've gotten hit. Let's keep going. That makes sense?
Right.
Instead of, hold on.
Well, that's what happened to me, dude. Remember? Like when you hit me, I was like, oh shit, this isn't you just holding the mitts. Like you're punching back.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can be really good at punching mitts, throwing.
Yeah, that's
right.
What I mean.
Like just going out of mitts.
You could be the best fucking.
Oh, you can look the best. There's so many good mitts punchers.
Yeah.
Right. Throw one punch at them, and they'd be like, "Oh shit!" That's where the fighters versus. I don't want to say
pretenders.
Yes, right. Like versus the regular person that's going probably every day to the boxing gym, but never seen a punch coming out of them.
Right. And that's fine. Like if that's your goal, you just want fitness.
Totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah, totally fine. But like when we went to, I went to Worlds in Vegas in September, and there was one of my oldest friends, Naz. He just got. I just gave him his brown belt. He's a purple belt, and we went and competed at Worlds. And he was like, he did really well, right? Like he is 52, right?
Oh, wow.
And he did so good. He won his first fight. I don't know how he lost his second fight. It's just like it was by points. But if you see the other guy, it was like you could not, like you don't look like you won a fight. The other guy was like, look, and it's a jiu-jitsu match. There's no striking. He killed him, but he just like won by 1 point or 2 or something, like very stupid. Anyway, so at the end, he's like, oh man, like I did. I'm like, Nas, think about it this way. You are the 1% of the people that train and made it all the way here. Literally 1%. And that's all I said. Then he started walking. I was like, we're the 1%. We're the 1%. And it's like stuck with him, which is true. It's 1% of people that train that can compete or fight. Only 1%.
All of martial arts or just
In general. Yeah, all of martial arts. Only 1%. Let's take it to basketball. How many people do you know that play basketball?
A lot of people.
How many of them actually play basketball on a team? Like actually play in a team and they compete.
Like a pro team, NBA team?
Play in a team. Like even amateur team play, like actually play.
Men's league, for example.
Pretty
Big.
Not a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot of people.
Well, it's probably different.
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, probably
I see
different.
where you're going. Yeah,
probably
you're saying
different, right? But
yeah.
fighting
Okay.
is,
I see what you mean.
Is another level.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, dude, I thought like boxing, it was something just like I used to watch fights. I'm like, dude, why isn't Canelo punching the guy? Why isn't he just standing right there? Punch him.
Yeah.
Go. Hit the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Now when I'm there, I'm like, okay,
That's
there's
why.
levels to this.
Yeah.
So I respect a lot. Like like boxing, mixed martial arts, whatever. Do you think jiu-jitsu is more relatable to a street fight or boxing? Because one thing, jiu-jitsu, like in a street fight, you can't just be like, hey man, let's start on the ground first.
You can take someone down.
That's a big,
up, though.
that's a big misconcept about jiu-jitsu though. Jiu-jitsu does not start from the ground.
So standing.
Jiu-jitsu starts standing. Look,
True.
any jiu-jitsu
Right,
fight starts standing. And guess what? If I take you down on the street, if I throw you on your back, on your head, on the street, it's done. Right? It's
No
done.
mas.
Right?
Yo, I'm
Right?
GG.
Right?
All right.
But I mean, a lot of people, of course, there's a lot of ways. Like, first of all, hopefully nobody would have to use any of their martial arts training or combat sport training in a fight, right? But if you have to, for my experience, I've done so many martial arts. I've been doing it for, I'm gonna age myself now, since I was 8. So
Jesus Christ.
you do the numbers, all right? Like 30 plus years. So most of my martial arts that I done, they're striking. Okay, I did Muay Thai, TaeKwonDo, all higher level. I've all fought in all of them. Boxing as well. Jiu-jitsu is the only martial arts that I've done was really close to an actual fight. Because if you know how to close the distance, even in boxing, there's no more jab. There's no punches, right? If you know how to close the distance. In jiu-jitsu, you're so comfortable with being inside, which is, it can be wrestling too. Same idea.
Right.
You're so comfortable inside. You're so comfortable if you fall on the ground. Yes, you might get stomped, but you'll know how to do it to defend yourself. But that's not you go do a self-defense course, like 2 hours self-defense course, and you'll be able to heel hook people or choke them out. You're not going to be able to do that.
No.
You need to train like anything else. Same in boxing. You go do a session with a trainer. It doesn't matter, even if you're doing it with Mayweather. You're not going to be able to throw a jab like Mayweather. Right? So that's one thing. So the other thing is, if you're going to use it in self-defense, and this is one of the things, because I used to do free self-defense seminars for women and LGBTQ community. some of them come in and is like, oh, what if I strike them in the throat? What if I eye gouge them? It's like, you're 120, 130 pound woman. You think you can, if someone raging, like a crazy man, obviously, if someone is attacking a woman, it's crazy, right? 190 to 100 pounds, you think you can knock him out? How often do you see a knockout in a boxing match? And both are pros, right? Both train for it for most of their lives, right? And they stand there, all they do is throwing punches. You rarely see a knockout. I don't know I don't know the numbers, the statistics behind it, but I would say like maybe like 20% of the time you see a knockdown.
You're not knocking out.
So you're telling me you do a 2-hour seminar, and you're gonna be able to punch someone and knock them out. You're a woman, punch a man and knock them out? No, it's not gonna happen. How about you learn how to break the grip and fucking run? Literally, right? I'm not gonna teach you how to choke them out or break their arm in 2 hours. That's not gonna work.
You probably won't.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen if you're not training. And every time like we do these seminars, I tell people, it's like, I'm gonna show you simple stuff that you might be able to use. You need to train. You need to practice it. And if you're really scared of your life and you're always in a situation that, like you might get attacked or something, or you're not comfortable, start training. Doesn't matter what. Start training. Go do dance boxing. Doesn't matter. Just go start training, build that confidence. You're gonna take it somewhere. Right? So back to the point, is jiu-jitsu the closest martial art? Now with the MMA, we're in the MMA era. I think MMA is the street fighting, right?
Just all of it combined.
Just all of it combined, right?
Right.
But if you look at any MMA fight, what's the most dominant? If you bring a Thai boxer versus a jiu-jitsu guy, right? Again, that's a debate of all time, right?
Right.
You can't tell because it depends. It depends on the fighter, right? The Thai guy might be like, the Muay Thai guy might be really good with chopping their legs, and the jiu-jitsu guy can't get in, right? Or the jiu-jitsu guy is really good with his wrestling, get him in, put him on the ground, choke him out.
Like with Alex Pereira, when Izzy took him down, he couldn't do shit.
Yeah,
he was done. Like he was fucking done.
Yeah. So it doesn't really. It depends on baby. Yeah, I love Pereira.
I love him.
Such a beast.
Just such a.
Have you seen his sister?
She's a thug too, man. She's a thug.
She's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. And all straight punches. 1, 2. That's another thing of boxing. People want to learn all these fancy footwork. It's like just 1, 2, man. Simple.
1, 2. I always.
But that's martial arts, man. That's combat sport for you. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. Do you think? What's up?
Think about it like this. Let's say, for example, like if I ever actually have to strike somebody, and if I knew jiu-jitsu, or like if you're in a situation where you have to use your skill, let's say if I do jiu-jitsu and if a guy tackles me or if somebody takes me down, I can use the skills that I've learned to not get stomped in the face or be able to control their arms or their legs until it gets broken up. I think you successfully protected yourself in what you've done, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, break it up. Good, great.
So
it doesn't have to be like, okay, I'm gonna sleep this guy, or I'm gonna snap his leg.
No.
Like, no.
Just you defending yourself, breaking it up is enough. So
like if someone's running at me, like, and if I, like instinctively, I'm probably gonna throw 1, 2. Like, that should be enough for them to be like, whoa, like that sense in your body, like, whoa, okay.
So that's a question for you. So if someone running at you and you had to throw a punch, you throw a closed fist punch, or would you throw a left hook, open fist? Or for you, because you're lefty, you're right hook.
Honestly, I would throw a jab.
You throw a jab?
I would throw a straight jab.
What if you broke your hand?
If I broke my hand, now I'm thinking about in situation.
Would you break your hand?
Oh, it happens. Have you been in street fights?
Thankfully, never.
Okay, good.
Never.
Good. I wish but like
that's
if you break your hand,
like,
because it happens a lot, because it's not as controlled as sparring or punching it back, right?
Knowing myself, I would switch my stance.
You switch your stand and you throw a left jab?
I would throw a jab from
A
orthodox.
left jab?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would switch my hand.
Why?
I think it's fastest. Like if someone's coming at you, bang. And like for me, like knowing how I would do it, like, yeah, I would create my distance, throw something straight. Even if I don't switch, I'm throwing straight left hand out of southpaw.
Right.
Right.
I got a question. If someone's running at you, why not use their own momentum against them to just
most likely
move them out of the way?
I would move around. I would get out of the way. That's like when I played those situations, I would most likely either shoot my straight shot, like knowing that they're already off balance, boom, or get out of the way, look for an opportunity. By then, and to go back to with jiu-jitsu, if you protect yourself from them stomping you out and then break it up, if I get off in an angle, then my friends jump in and break it up, I've successfully protected myself.
So the goal is never to knock the fucking guy.
Come on.
Even with that jab,
goal.
you're not
No,
even...
If you can, then yeah, of course. It's not a goal. Make it a goal, but don't depend on it. It's like going in a fight and your coach will be like, you gotta knock the guy out. Like, oh fuck, this coach doesn't know shit. If you go to your corner in the fight and the guy tell you to knock him out, that's the worst game plan ever. Because now the fighter, all he's focused on is knocking the guy out and forgetting all the other things that are happening. He's just throwing all these heavy punches. And we talked about it at the gym, remember? You'll probably miss 80% of your punches or your strikes during a fight. That's why shadowboxing, I call it the art of missing. When you learn how to miss when you shadowbox.
Right.
So you don't stand there just like throwing air punches. No, it's not air guitar. You're actually throwing punches. You're popping your elbows. You're like extending. You should be sweating when you're shadowboxing. There's a reason why you shadowbox, right? Other than visualization, of course, right? So you're gonna miss, and you probably miss if someone is running at you and you think you're gonna tackle that. But you know what you're not gonna miss? If you grab him around the waist and take him down, you're not gonna miss that. If you're trained for it, obviously. Right? His body's there. Just go grab him around the waist and take him down. You're not gonna miss his body because he's between your legs. You're just gonna do whatever you want, and that's where jiu-jitsu comes in. Right.
Do you both feel like you're way more confident going into any situation knowing that you could fuck anyone up here? Seriously though, like we talked about this before. No, we talked. Joe Rogan said every person needs some sort of martial art training.
Yeah.
So when they do walk into a room or any situation, there is this confidence about them where you're not going out there looking for anything, but you step, I might take off on you. Like I could, like Meego, you could walk into any room and look around and be like, I can decapitate all of you in here.
I never do that. I don't size
confidence.
I have been in situations like that. I'll walk in a room and like size people if I'm not comfortable. It happened. But yes, because you have that confidence, the possibility of something happen is actually lower.
Because you're not giving off the energy where you're wanting people to notice you and
that's why. And it's like, there's something about, and the other thing is like usually martial arts, especially really experienced martial or combat sport athletes or practitioners, let's call them, they usually have that, you get humbled at the gym, right? You get humbled all the time. So you have that thing about like, I don't want to take it's not scared. You're not scared. I don't know. Like I'm not gonna start shit because I don't know that little smaller, younger person than me, a lot younger than me. I don't know what their background is. He might be like a pro MMA fighter, right? Like can fuck me up, right? But I'm not saying like that comes from it's just you have different respect for people too. right?
Yeah,
So it's
I know
kind of like
exactly what you're saying,
mutual,
yeah.
right? So like, for example, we're talking about Vietnamese. The reason why I got into jiu-jitsu is because, I mean, obviously, a friend got me into jiu-jitsu and I went and tried it. And like at infighting with Richie Yip, Blair, he's a black belt now. He got me, he's like, used to work with me at Steve Nash Fitness World. He's like, how's your watching UFC? And he's like, how's your ground game? I'm like, shit. And it's like, I'm all striking. It's like, why don't you come and do jiu-jitsu with me? I'm like, sure. So I went and they had a month free. I'm like, that's a good deal at infighting.
Better than Class Pass.
Right? It's better than Class Pass.
Better than Class
Better than Class Pass.
This is a corny name, Class Pass.
Class Pass, yeah. So I went and I went first class, for the first class, and I borrowed a gi from Blair. And I'm like, I'm athletic. At that time I was like 190 and I'm like done martial arts my whole life and I'm strong. I'm a personal trainer. You know, like I do this for a living. So like, what's gonna happen? I'll be fine.
Sorry,
You know,
how
like-
old were you at this? Like
32.
32 is when you started.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I started jiu-jitsu,
Okay,
I was
well,
32. Yeah. But I had martial arts background.
Yeah.
So I came into, I wasn't cocky, but I knew I was going to be safe. At least if, you know, like nothing's going to happen. Right. But because I've done so many martial arts, I'm like, I'm good with adapting kind of thing. Then I walk in there, there's this, I forgot his name. Vietnamese guy is probably like 130, a buck 30. He's been doing jiu-jitsu for probably 2 years. He's still a white belt. Dude, the guy just took my back, choked me out, armbarred me, like throw me down. I was like, what the fuck?
No way.
Yeah, dude. And he's a white belt, right? Like, I'm obviously it was my first day. I'm like, fuck, man, I want to do this. I want to do this. This is so humbling. It's crazy. I really want to do this. So I went to Richie after the class. I'm like, I want to sign up. He's like, you don't want to finish your month? I'm like, no. Why would I want to test like that? Why would I try it more? I like it. I
Doesn't
want to
matter.
do it.
Yeah, it's
Right.
gonna
He's
be
like,
more than a month, guaranteed.
Okay. He's like, okay, let's do it then. He's like, I was like, just so you know, I have 4 other black belts. My cup is empty. I'm here to learn jiu-jitsu. But because you're my coach, I want to let you know. I have background in martial arts, but I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm not going to use any of that. I literally tell him, like, my cup is empty, Richie. He's like, thank you for telling me that. I really appreciate it.
Is that something you have to?
It's like the best thing you can hear.
You don't have to,
That's
but the
best
coach,
thing to
what-
hear. Like
Yeah, the
someone
best
is
thing.
just
and
so
I did.
invested to
And
learn.
I went there,
Yeah.
and my cup was empty. Like, I went there, I didn't use any of my Hapkido background, any of, like, obviously TaeKwonDo. It helped. It helped. It became, because of my TaeKwonDo background, I'm really good with using my legs when I'm on the ground. I can sweep people easy. I can triangle people, you know, like, and that became my move, right? Because of my legs, right? And I can grab people with my feet because I'm so, right? And so it did help, but I did not use any, like, we have people coming from, what is that martial arts called? Bujitsu. And it's like, it's not related to jiu-jitsu, it's bujitsu. It's, and it's more like pressure points.
Right.
And this guy, I'm rolling with. I was brown belt at the time. He's a white belt. Rolling with, and he's like, he presses under my ribs. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, this is a pressure point. I'm like, I don't feel shit, man. I was like,
Sorry, buddy.
this is not jujitsu. What are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I thought it's gonna stop you. I was like, and I laughed, obviously with a smile. I was like, dude, you do it again, I'm gonna choke you out. He's like, and then again he puts it on like a little bit deeper, and I kind of felt something, but like you just maneuver around it, right? Like I was like, I told him I'm gonna choke you, so I took his back and I choked him. Obviously, he tapped. I let go. I'm like, dude, stop doing that. But it's just like it's not gonna work, man. What's it? What are you right? But that's my cup is empty. If your background is another martial art, just like open your mind, empty your cup, and do it.
I love that because like how he just described how he started was like, okay, I know what I can do. I have I have a level of confidence in myself and how I can protect myself, my current abilities. And then try something new, open and then Meego so willing to learn.
It's being humble.
Humble, there's no ego to it. My cup is empty. Teach me. Like as a coach, that's like
That's the reason why I started with you, man, because I know you from basketball. I've known you over like 10 years. You know, I've been wanting to try boxing for a while, and I looked through your profile and you seem like you're doing well. And I came in there, like, I remember the first day you came, I was like, oh, are we going to be buddy? Are we going to talk about, you know, basketball and stuff? And you got right to it. You're like, hey, Mo, like, this is, like, you started asking me questions about boxing. You started, like, really getting to it. I'm like, okay, this is business. Like, this is what, you know, and, yeah, it's, like, I fucking enjoy training with you, man. It's a good fucking time. Like, I appreciate the amount of effort you put in and like the details, right? Like, I don't really have a reference point on boxing training because this is my first time, but I already know that a lot of other trainers wouldn't be so detailed on, you know, the footwork, the movement, the side to side, there's so many nuances, boxing. You know, like.
But what it's bigger than boxing overall, you know, like to where I'm instructing you, I'm helping you and working on doing these drills, and you're feeling something like you might feel something different than what we're working on. Oh, okay, this is why we do it this way, or this is what he's talking about. Oh, I understand now. Like that, what you're learning, it's not just boxing in itself. Like you can apply that to every day, you know? So like for me, like it's bigger than the sport and boxing. It's just what I do, right?
So you obviously still compete, right? Do you feel, because you're relatively new, right, to you know, competing. Do you feel sometimes in the boxing community people kind of brush you off a little bit more, just because you're new, you don't really have a track record yet? Does that still go on? Because I know about it in the basketball community. I know all about it. I know how people think. I know how is it in boxing, in combat, actually? Like, do different fighters, you know, respect each other, but at the end of the day, I mean, it is. I'm answering my own question.
I'll tell you this. So for me in my competition, technically, yeah, like I'm green. I have 6 fights. But again, I respect the sport. I respect, it's an art, it's a craft. I respect it wholeheartedly. So when I'm training, it's not like I'm just 7 fights in, this is my set style, or this is set how good I am. I put so much work into it. I studied this sport to where if I'm training with someone, I'm sparring or in competition, yeah, on paper we might have like similar records, but you can watch somebody in jiu-jitsu, you can watch somebody in boxing, you can watch somebody that puts the time and the effort into it. They're a lot better than technically their record or things like that. For example, you think let's talk about Lomachenko. Over 400, like over 390 amateur fights, comes into the pros. He's 1-0.
That's all you see, 1-0.
That's all you see is 1-0. They don't see the hours and all the time that you put in. So, like,
you don't see the 2 hours, 2 years of dancing.
The 2 years of dancing. The 2.
Is it 2 years or 3? 2 years, I think.
He has a dancing background?
Yeah.
No, his dad took him out of boxing when he was, I think, 10.
Take dance.
He was like, you're not boxing anymore. Go 2 years, do Ukrainian traditional dancing. That's why, literally, no boxing for 2 years. Just dance. He became really good dancer. And now you see him at the ring, dancing like a motherfucker around people. Right? But people don't see these things. Don't see
it's like everything behind it.
But someone could have this exact same record at me. Yeah, we're not the same. And again, like I have so much trust and I have confidence in what I do and what my approach is to competition. and my training.
In the process, yeah.
The process, like I have a high standard, you know. I'm not saying that, you know, like some people's idea of that might be different. But again, like in the sport of boxing and jiu-jitsu, like in combat sports, there's levels to it.
I feel like in combat, do you think there's a level of respect for your opponent, but not too much, because this is literally, you could get killed. Like, this is where you can say the other fighter is a good fighter, but you need to tell yourself that this is a war. Like, this is like survival. This isn't like in basketball. It's different. Like, you can be like, you can sort of have in your mind, well, you know, I'm not gonna get knocked out. I'm not gonna get.
Yeah, it's. I mean, yes, there is a little bit survival.
Would you say you go through phases, Migo? Like when you're
Yeah,
competing in
Have you ever been
combat
scared,
sports,
Migo?
Like sometimes one fight or a few fights, you might be like, F this guy.
Yeah.
Or like maybe 15 later, this person's just in my way from what I want.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be F this guy, though. You have to be.
Of course.
Because if you go in a fight saying the person's going to kill you, like, they're
But
there
you
to.
have to keep that in mind, though. You can't go be like, no, I'm gonna fuck him up, and then don't have respect for his game, because he's saying I'm gonna fuck him up too, right? So you're gonna have to respect that. Respect that. Don't submit to it. Does that make sense? Like, don't be. So, like, that's a fine line between being cocky and confident, right? So be confident, don't be cocky with everything you do, even basketball, right? Like, don't be, it's like, oh yeah, these guys, they just lost their last match. We're going to fuck them up. We're going to win.
Respect all your.
Respect them, right? Respect them, exactly.
But what you said before, you said at some point, there's the technical and the strategy and all the little shit, but then there's a point in the fight where it's just a fight.
Absolutely, for
It's a
sure.
great scrap.
For sure. And, you know, like sometimes too, like, well, when I first started, there's a video on YouTube. It's like, it's on Rain City's channel, and you might have seen it. It's like called like some sparring vlog or whatever. This is me recorded like a year and 3/4 into starting boxing. I'm sparring, and this guy comes in, help me get ready for my first fight. And how it all went, like I'm getting beat up as I go, like, and previously months before that, like, yeah, like I've got my ass kicked, ripped to the body, dropping, like bleeding, all that. And like, that was like the day when like I learned it's just a fucking fight sometimes. Like, okay, fuck this guy. What went through my head in that video and in that clip was like, yeah, like, I'm gonna smash you. Like, respectfully though, like, to where like it became such a fight, I wasn't thinking about X, Y, and Z. I just started shoot. Like, that was all just instinctual. That was just like, I'm fighting this guy.
That's where training comes in.
That's where the training comes in, but it comes in subconscious. Like, you don't even think about it. Okay, I'm gonna move his hand this way, bang. Or I'm gonna watch when this comes, and I'm gonna counter with this exact one. There's a level of commitment. I trust this. Boom. Is it vicious? Like, you know, am I mean when I'm doing? Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's fighting, yeah.
But that's different with everybody though. Some people, you know, are like, okay, like I'm gonna move, I'm gonna stick, I'm gonna feint, I'm gonna see what they do, bang, and then some people are like right into it. Some people is like, okay, let's go. I'm gonna knock this guy out. This guy's a chump. This guy's bum. And
then it forces you to, have to
forces,
react. Like, this guy's coming. Like, this guy's not even.
It can go so many different ways. Like, if someone's gonna go and compete and try and rip your head off, but they might be just a good fighter and just the good hands and, you know, good power or whatever, but they didn't put no time into the balance and the defense.
I have a question about, so when you're actually in a competition, when you're in the moment and you get in the ring, are you so involved with just from like moment to moment what's going on, or are you analyzing, are you noticing weaknesses in your opponent, or is it not till later after the match where you're processing, okay, I noticed this, I noticed that, he drops his arm when he does this, like that, you know?
All during, and then more after.
Yeah, it depends on the on the experience. Like, I don't remember my first Muay Thai fight. The details. I remember the fight, obviously, but I don't remember the details. I don't remember what he did. I don't remember what I did. It was more instinct. I was going on instinct.
Your first competition? Yeah, like you would say that this is...
But I had like so many fights, but the Muay, like even when you do different martial art, it's like totally different. I only remember the crowd around me. It was in Thailand. The screaming.
Jesus Christ.
Right? And that's all I remember.
First
And
fight.
I remember the...
It's like blood sport.
It literally like felt like blood sport. You can smell, like you
Jean-Claude,
smell
baby.
their sweat. That's like, I remember these things, but I don't remember what he technically did. I don't remember my corner.
Is it
What
just because it's a blur? Like you're just so...
Yeah, in the moment, it happened so fast too. Like when I got the fight, it was so fast. Like I was training and they're like, do you want to fight? I'm like, okay, next week. Right?
Damn, I was so
So
scared.
for me, like after my first competition, like there were some things, and I took like almost 2 years to take my first competition. So in that time, like learning like
That's a good time though.
yeah,
It's a good, yeah.
like the technical side of it, like I'd seen some things over and over and over again to where I was confident doing it in my first competition. So where I could think about it. For example, you're a southpaw, like you're gonna see a straight right hand coming all the time. I'm gonna see that coming all the time because technically, tactically, that's what your opponent wants to do as an orthodox fighter, right? Get the foot on the outside, throw the right hand. So I've seen that so many times. Boom, I'm gonna look to counter that. How can I counter it? How am I gonna move this? Am I gonna step backwards? Am I gonna step to the side? Where am I gonna shift my weight?
Yeah.
How am I gonna land? Am I gonna land flush? Where am I gonna
Right.
I want to land on the front too. How do I want to do it?
Right.
But then it's after the competition too. It's like you're watching. You're like, damn.
Start analyzing, yeah.
I don't really look at the guy. I look at myself. I'm like, damn, I'm too tall there. Or like I wasn't in my stance there.
It was just like basketball too, just watching yourself play. Like, what the fuck am I
Which
doing?
is really important actually,
Yeah.
to watch yourself do it afterwards, right? Like it's really important.
Right.
I always get that question a lot too. They go, hey coach, like how can I like get better? Like that's a really broad question, but in terms of your boxing ability and personally what's helped me, I prop my phone up and I just record myself hitting the bag. Do certain easy stuff. Just do like maybe 3 minutes, just your jab. Save it. Throw the 1-2s. Save it. Then you can watch it. And also too, like it's for memories as well. Like you go back 5, 7, 10 years. Wow, this is my first.
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
Like what was
Watching
I
them back,
thinking
yeah.
about this time? Like
Yeah.
now look how far I came. This is so cool. I want to show
Yeah,
this.
that's one of the things I regret. I don't have, well, I mean, I'm a little older than you guys. I don't have my fights on video.
Damn.
Yeah. I lost some of them, but like, yeah, I lost like the videos, but
What's Meego? What's like the first thing you tell somebody preparing for their first fight? Like the date is set, they have an opponent, everything. Like what are kind of some of the tips that you would tell somebody or advice that you would give them?
don't learn anything new right now.
Okay, cool. Right? For me, like I tell them, my first competition, it felt like fight or flight, like within like human nature. Like the bell rang, I didn't see nobody around me. I just seen this person stepping towards me. Like I took a deep breath and like let's do this thing.
You have to go in.
It's like fight or flight. I'm telling you, and like it's an instinct.
Like you're literally in a confined space in a
You're
ring,
just
in a
you and that
square.
person, yeah.
You and that
exactly. You
person,
and that
like,
person.
and I've seen people do their first fight. I've seen people run. First initial big exchange, they're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
and,
run away.
and I've seen it. I'm like,
Hey,
"That's fight or flight
I
mentality."
don't
It's
blame
not
them
like
though. That's the thing. I
You
don't
cannot blame them.
them.
dude.
No.
You cannot blame them.
they stepped in the ring, but also like the fact that like as that was happening, I seen this person run. I go, "What the heck?" And then after, boom, they were right in the stance and they finished the whole thing.
It's a shock, right?
It's a shock.
Fuck.
Oh my,
It's fight or flight.
It's
Same
fight
like you
or
said.
flight mentality.
Fight or
It's-
flight.
Did you guys ever adopt a mentality where the worst thing that could happen is I get knocked out? It's the worst. Like,
Yeah, you get.
it's embarrassing a little bit. Like right.
Yeah,
if I was, I'm
say, like, yeah, like, it
if I
would-
was to get knocked down in front of my friends and family, they're gonna support me. Like, oh, but it's like, fuck, I fucking just got folded in front of my mom.
I never thought of actually losing.
No,
When
I
I'm
never
fighting-
think about that.
When I'm fighting, I never thought it was like, oh, what's gonna happen? It's so embarrassing if I lose.
I don't.
I never
think,
thought of that.
Like,
I always like got in there, like if it's striking, I get in there. I'm like looking at the person who's like, I'm gonna fucking chop your legs. I like kicking legs. But it's like I'm looking at, you know what I mean? Like I don't think of like, oh, what if I lose? It's like, you know, when you're riding your bike and be like, don't look at the ditch. You're gonna go there, and you're gonna veer to the right because you're looking at the ditch and you're gonna hit, right? So don't look at it. Don't look at what's the worst case scenario. Always be confident of what are you going to do?
You can also use, I was going to say, you could take, instead of taking that as embarrassment, you could use that as fuel to be, okay, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to train
You could
harder.
do that too. Yeah, it
right?
depends on your mentality, right?
That's a hard turnaround, though.
It's hard, but but it's on you. You could do it if you really push yourself.
Especially if you get like absolutely cracked and just get fucking paralyzed.
But again, why are you thinking of that?
I personally think in the back of my mind, like in competition, like there's always like you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
But you're prepared. You've trained.
Exactly.
It's like it's way in the back of my mind, you know. And they're probably they might be like thinking that a little bit more than me. That could maybe give me the edge in competition, you know. But I don't think about that.
That's got to be the most crippling thing as a performer, as a fighter, whatever you're doing, is that when you get so far into your own head, that's really damaging.
You're your
right?
worst.
Because
you're your
at some point you have to let go. You have to realize, okay, I've got skills, I've got experience. All I can do is get in the ring and do the best that I can. There's a lot of other factors I can't control, and you just have to let go. Otherwise, it's probably going to cripple you, right?
Yeah. You can't control what the judges will say if it went to distance. You cannot control that, right? There's so many things you cannot control. You cannot control the crowd not booing at you. Hey, I've been there, right? Like they called me, I was fighting with mostly Thai people, and they called me white boy, and they're booing at me and throwing water bottles while I'm fighting in Thailand. You cannot control that. But like, there's so many things like you cannot control, but it's your mindset. You'd be like, right. I put the training. I believe in myself. I believe that I'm good. I'm here now.
And if it happens, it happens. Like it's a sport that could very well,
could happen. Exactly. If it happens, then we learn from it, right? Like then you assess. Don't think about it at the moment. If it happens, then you look at it as like, okay, what did I do? Like the only time I was knocked out, it was in TaeKwonDo tournament. It was in Korea. And I got cocky. I was winning. I was beating the guy up. I was winning in points. And I was like, just like started like kind of playing around. My hands are down. And I was like, just like jumping in front of the guy. And he's like, just looking at me. And he's like, boom. And all of a sudden I'm like, I remember I got up and I look around me and there's a medic and my coach and everybody's sitting. I'm like, what happened? And then my coach grabbed my arm. He's like, sit down. I'm like, I sat down and I like literally kneeled and I then sat down. He's like, you've been out for 2 minutes. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, then I lay down. And then I don't remember anything after that. I remember waking up at the hotel. I was like, oh shit, my fight is in 3 minutes, in 3 days, sorry. And I still till the day, I don't remember the 3 days.
Wow.
That was the only time
I haven't been there like yet.
Yeah. That's the only, but hey, I don't remember the knockout. But what I remember is don't fucking be cocky, even if you're winning. Right? And you see that in MMA all the time if you watch, even boxing.
Boxing as well,
People getting their ass kicked and the comeback, they call it, right? You know why the comeback happens? Is because this guy, the other guy that was winning and losing, he's a fighter or they're a fighter, right? The person that's losing is like, no, fuck this. They have the grit. Like, no, I need to come back, right? And the other guy probably got cocky most of the time. No, I'm winning. I'm okay. Boom, right?
Mm.
And it's out. It happened to
Izzy.
to Usman.
Usman,
To
yeah.
Usman, man.
Yeah.
Like he got fucking he got lit.
You seen that guy? This was like years back, but it was a MMA fight. This guy covered like his whole body was in tattoo, face and everything, and he's going up against this other Asian guy. Like calm, face off. This guy puts his hand right on his chin, and he's just holding it there, mugging him.
Yeah.
Face tatted, everything. Like I'm telling you, this guy looks like a demon, and he's holding it there, pressing on the guy's face. So the guy, like, like he's like, okay, like kind of awkward. Okay, I guess I'll do it too. And after the big, like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you. He gets,
Let me guess.
But he gets slept. Slept like.
That's the other thing we go
It's
back.
the best feeling when you see some.
But that's the other thing we go
gone.
back to martial arts and how humbling it is. It doesn't matter how you look like. It does not matter how you look like.
I was just gonna say, because everyone sizes each other up, but there's got to be you got to be careful about not
matter.
underestimating or overestimating people.
Exactly.
Because just someone looks like, oh, they're skinnier, they're a little bit shorter. Yeah. Oh, that's where that gets in that dangerous territory. Yeah, exactly. You become cocky, like I'm gonna kick the crap out of this person, and then they destroy you.
Yeah, and that goes back to my first story, how I started jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Right, like this little Asian guy, like just fucking throw me around, and I'm like 50 pounds heavier than him. Right, so you can't get cocky.
Right.
You have to that's what. And I think for me, like that's what jiu-jitsu mostly, because in every striking martial arts that I've done, you get humbled, of course, when you spar, but you can't really spar hard every time.
No.
In jiu-jitsu, every training session, you can go as hard as you want. And every training session, believe me, you're going to get humbled. I was talking to my wife, Jamie, today, and I was telling her that, or yesterday. I was like, when I was a white belt, I thought I knew it all. White belt, blue belt, I thought I like telling people that I do jiu-jitsu, and I'm like I'm all that in jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah. And now that I'm black belt, I'm like, fuck. There's so much I need to learn. I still even she said she's like, I noticed the switch when you get higher in your purple belt and when you're brown belt. She's like, you started asking more questions and taking more tips from even and you're understanding a little bit more.
Yeah, the details become smaller and smaller as you go up.
It's just you get your mindset. But again, that's humbling because I had 13 years of being humbled on the mat before I got my black belt, right? And it's so you just get, you never know. One day, even if as a black belt, there's this phenom 16-year-old white belt will just fucking destroy you. And it happens. There's this guy here now, NBC. His name is Harrison. He's 18 now. No, actually 19 maybe. Anyway. He just got his brown belt. He was purple belt, beating every brown belt in absolute. He weighs 180, I think. Absolute division, no weight class. Absolute. That means any weight can jump in with him.
Oh shoot!
Dude, black belts. There's some guys if they're listening to this, they'd be like, yes, oh, it's me, right? Black belts with a lot of experience, tap them out in tournaments. He's so good. He's just this guy. So tell me this is not humbling. You go there, it's I'm 4 stripes black belt. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 25 years. And I won worlds a few times. And I won this. And I won
a pretzel
and
by a 18-year-old guy.
And then you roll with this guy, his last competition in Kelowna with Philippe. I love Philippe. He owns Roll Academy. Same thing. He's a Brazilian guy. Really high level black belt. Cleaned up BC with an absolute division. He's a heavier weight. Really good jiu-jitsu. Super awesome guy. They went on a match. Harrison was a purple belt. Tapped him out.
Wow. What is he doing different? Has anyone analyzed it? Is it just his technique is so clean, so precise?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Sometimes
his technique is that's a jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
it's technique.
Sometimes when I'm training and one thing that I really you have to be able to adapt in the situation. Like if a guy in like, let's say you're going through all your experience and you're underestimating somebody and they're way better than you think. Like you can't just stay there and like keep fighting the same way. You have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to make the changes necessary. That's hard. Because you're basically you're fighting a different person than like what you thought. Now you're sizing them up again. Now you're trying to dictate which pace, what's comfortable for them, what's
Isn't that
uncomfortable.
big on your coach too, though? Your coach needs to be seeing these things.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also, I like, and I feel like boxers will say this as well. It's like, you see some things that your coaches don't see. Boxing is like, and you would say with combat sports, you have to feel it.
Yeah.
Okay, like, they're like, watch out. Let's say you get banged with a left hook. Watch out for left hook. Watch out for left hook. Okay, I noticed this one thing. Right? I'm going to commit on it.
Have you ever coached someone and they're just not listening to you? It's like,
Oh, all the
All the time, dude.
All the time. All the
I lose
time.
my voice.
Oh, that's the worst.
Is
Like,
it because
that's-
they just don't
It's not the worst. but,
trust
like,
you,
it's
or is it
frustrating.
they can't even they're not really listening in the
That's
first
what I'm
place?
saying is like the
Bit of both.
mindset of it. Like you have to be able to make these changes and trust your preparation, trust the process of it.
Trust your corner that
Like
they're-
for example,
they
like
don't want the
we were
worst. They don't
sparring,
want you to get knocked
I'm like,
out.
throw your jab. Even if it doesn't hit me in the face, it's preventing me from hitting you.
Yeah.
That's a
There's a
success.
reason
That's
why
good.
the coach is telling you to do that. Yeah. I mean, it is a mindset, like you said. It's a style. Some fighters listen, some fighters don't. Right? There's a lot to it. There's a lot. They're either not listening because they're so in the moment they just can't even fathom what's happening. They're just going on a fight or flight, right? And just like just going crazy, right? Or they think they got this, right? They think they got this, and so they're not going to listen to the coach, or they actually have something, they seen something, and the coach is calling something else, right? But I think as a coach and as a fighter, I always trusted, as a fighter, I always trusted my corner. When they say switch jab or when they say switch kick, I'll fucking switch and kick right away without even thinking, right? That's my style though. Like I remember when I was TaeKwonDo, my coach, my sensei would sit behind me and do this and just like literally just say combos, and I'm there just listening to him. I don't know what's happening. And I just like, and in my worlds, my first one I won, I was youth, I was 15, and I knocked the guy out. I almost like in the moment, I don't even know what I did. But when I finished it and I looked up like, oh shit, I just listened to my corner. He said, switch, hook kick. And I did, switch, hook kick. I still remember it. Right? It's a mindset and it's a style too. And it's trusting your coach, training with them for so long, right? Trusting them. We were talking before when we were off air.
It's a nice segue. This is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, we were talking about Jamie, my wife. She's a boxer. She's got 50 fights in boxing. She's a high level boxer. She stopped boxing after the baby, and she decided to do jiu-jitsu. And now she's a white belt. She's been doing jiu-jitsu for about a year. She did her last competition in, when was it? October. First competition. She was listening to me. I was cornering her like I was holding a controller, and I'm like literally like everything she's I'm not taking away anything from her jiu-jitsu. Obviously, she's doing it, right? But she was listening to me step by step to the point that it's like people were like, "What the hell?" At some point, I told her to turn her thumb up because I saw an armbar. She didn't see it. And I know it's a little higher level than what she knows. And she turned her thumb up and she brought her elbow and she looks at me. I'm like, you're good, don't worry. And the other coach was calling an armbar and he stopped. And I'll show you after this. I'll show you in the video. You see me doing this and she turned her thumb up. And after that, she came and asked me, she's like, you said turn your thumb up. I don't even know why. And I explained it to her. And now she'll never put herself in that position. But she was listening to me. It's like, okay, Jamie, and I'm very calm when I coach. I'll show you the video after, like I said. Okay, Jamie, this is okay now. Like to the point that I'm like, Get side control, please. Okay, knee and belly. Heavy, please. Good, good. Okay, like that. Like I'm super calm. She's like literally step by step, and she just destroyed with like
Just pure like grace, just
exactly with
so
like,
smooth.
so smooth, so smooth. She made a few mistakes. She recovered out of it, but that comes from few things. I've been coaching her from day one, right?
So there's a trust there.
There's a trust. Second, she's got so much experience in combat sport. It's like she got that. She's a fighter. She's not. She even when she boxed, she was not. She's a great boxer, but she was a fighter. She had that mentality, the grit, right? Same thing. Like when she got into on the mat and she's doing the jiu-jitsu competition, she gave me that smirk. She's like, oh, I'm like, oh fuck, she's gonna fuck them up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right?
That's awesome.
Like when you see that look, and I'll show you the pictures. You'll be like, you look at the pictures like, oh shit. And if you know Jamie, you'll be like, she's gonna fuck them up, right? So, but again, listening, and then I have other fighters. God bless them. I love them. I literally lost my voice to the point that there was one of my blue belts sitting next to me. I'm like, tell them this, because my voice was not coming up. He's like, okay, do this, and like he's like, I listen. He's like, I can hear Wilson saying it, but I couldn't hear Meego. I'm like, because I lost my voice. I'm screaming at you and not listening to me, right? So that's the difference, right?
Do you get upset with them if they don't listen? Same with boxing, because
You do.
in basketball, when they're not listening to me, I'm like, force this guy right, and
Yes
they
and
keep
no.
going left. I'm like,
You do.
Are you just not doing it to piss me off now? Like,
I say
know what I
yes
mean?
and
That's
no.
a-
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I don't think they're doing it to piss you off, but again, it depends on the fighter or the athlete, right? It's either they're not listening because they're not in the mindset, like they're not even actually listening. They're not there. They're so in the moment. They're not actually.
which is understandable.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Or I don't know if I've ever been like in a situation if they don't want to listen to you to piss you off, that means they don't want to.
right. Like for
train
me,
with you.
Henry,
What would
like if you set me up in a fight right now, I probably all the technical shit we've been working on goes out the window.
Oh,
Anything
for
you're
sure.
listening to, everything you're saying, I'm
yeah,
not
like
listening.
if I bring
'Cause I'm
into
so
someone's
fucking
party,
scared.
Yeah,
I'm
you don't know what
scared.
the hell's going
That's
on.
that's
You know, it's not like I'm trying not to listen to you.
But
It's
hence
just,
why I say like you do get a little bit frustrated, but you don't. Like for example, someone who's starting fresh, like
you understand.
you understand. I get it, Or if someone that has been training for quite some time, they might not trust you, right? They might not believe in your philosophies in terms of how you want to go strategically. Then that's a little bit frustrating, but I don't get frustrated in a sense where like I'm doing something wrong. And not necessarily do I blame it fully on the fighter. It's more so like, this is just your learning process. I might not be the coach for you, or I might not like help you as much as someone else could. But if you learn when you're listening and you find a coach that resonates with you, like, great. Then you can listen. It's not like you don't because you don't want to, or you don't have the capability to listen.
Yeah, you wouldn't train with them if you don't want to listen to
Exactly.
them. Like it's simple. You just leave.
In my competitions with my coach, like, I trust him, he trusts me. So there again, like I said, there's some things that I see, there's something that he sees, and it plays back and forth.
do you tell him sometimes? No, I don't see that. I see this.
Yeah.
You sometimes tell him that.
He
good with
says this, and I go, okay, but I'm just looking at this. Okay, I got you. Okay, I'll try this. Okay, dude, like throw it this way. Okay, I got you. Or this is the one we wanted, right? Yeah, okay. But also like for me, and when I'm coaching some of the amateurs and I'm helping guys come up, it's my style. I like to like have a conversation with you. Okay, nice. You got to go to the body. Just feign him just a little bit. See what he does. Okay, nice, good. Throw it from there. Okay, but you got to come with something else now. Okay, follow up. Nice, good. No, watch out for this. And then like we're talking about the video game controller, and when some of the athletes and when you're talking to them, when you're coaching them through these things, I'm fairly loud, but you can see when they're executing, then they start building their confidence, then they start becoming their own fighter.
Like getting in the zone.
Then they bring something else different. You're like, ooh.
Okay.
And then that's when like they're like, yes, good.
That's
and
when
then
the training comes in.
that's when the training, and then they have that full confidence, full head of steam, and they just working.
Do you ever feel responsible if your fighter gets knocked out?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah?
Oh,
For sure.
Oh,
You have
for
to
sure.
take responsibility.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I just recently, I had one of my fighters he didn't got knocked out, he got stopped. But yeah, until today, I feel responsible for it. Although like, he told me like so many times, and I've been through the process, but you have to. You're a coach,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
you're not a good coach if you don't feel responsible.
Right.
Yeah, like we've definitely had tournaments where our athletes, they didn't perform, or they didn't do as well as we thought everyone's gonna do. And, we sat them down and we say like, hey, like the results didn't go the way that we wanted to, like, and we take responsibility for it. These are some
Yeah,
things
as
that
much
we
as
gotta work on.
people say it's an individual sport, it is at the moment when you think it is, but it's really not. It depends on your team.
What do you think? Like, if you're with all your training partners, let's say there's a group of 3 that lost and they didn't do very well, and then the next 4 do well. They go on to, win the competition and so on and so forth. This is all hypothetical, by the way. But, like, what if those 4 people are like, like, you got dropped, like, or like, you got to work on this, you got to work on this.
Because
like, how does that make
because
you
they're your
feel? You're
training
like,
partners,
damn,
yeah.
you're like, what? Like, I thought
They're your training partners. They're sparring with them. They're getting better out of you.
some people take it differently. Some people are like, okay, like, they're being hard on me because, it's tough love, blah, blah. So, okay, now I feel like some people are just shit talking me. Or they're like, or some people are like, damn, like, delivery could have been a little bit better. Like, so like that's a different dynamic as well,
That's why team is important. Yeah, that's really important.
Right.
It is. It feels like an individual sport because you're on your own there, but it's not really.
Yeah, but you literally have 3 or 4 people behind you just
Screaming at you.
right. Yeah.
For me, like, I hear only a few voices when I'm competing.
Yeah.
I hear my coaches, and I hear the boxers that have seen me develop and have been in the gym with me. For example, there's Leo Samrelli. We know Leo.
OG, North Fan OG.
Leo
Shout out Leo, man.
Shout out Leo.
Leo,
Yeah,
shout out Leo, man.
Leo, one of my guys.
That's my
One of
guy.
athletes.
I was in his math class.
Yeah, like, so when I'm competing, like, I hear those guys as well. Like, I think about what they would say to me.
Because you
Right.
trust them as well, right?
I trust them as well, and like it makes me feel. This is where I'm getting at. It makes me feel like I'm still, a young guy, just learning and fighting as I go. Like, these guys will always kind of be like my big brothers when I'm training, or
Right.
as far as I go in the sport or wherever the sport takes me. Like, these people will always be like kind of in the Mount Rushmore for me.
Right. I have a question. So, for both of you. So, for you, Henry, you boxing, Meego, martial arts. Would you say you would be scared? Like, you would be scared if you go in a fight with Khamzat Chimaev, right? Like, would you, after, because you have such a long history and so much experience. I think I'm assuming you wouldn't be scared. Maybe scared isn't the right word.
I don't know. Like, this is like, I'm not.
Give us the full scenario, though.
Yeah,
Is it like
yeah,
is
right?
it
Like,
UFC 2 something like?
So I'm saying something like, let's say Dana just came by the gym and said, "Hey, it's all, hypothetical," and says, "Meego, let's set it up with Khamzat, because Khamzat's a crazy motherfucker and he wants to fight anyone, because he is. This is the pay-per-view. This is how much money you get, both bags," and you're like, "Fuck, I'm gonna do it."
Well, it depends how much money I'm getting.
How about this? Let's say if Khamzat walks in the Hero one day, you and I are working together. You know, Meego's up front, and
would
like
love-
we kind of tell him the situation. Like, oh yeah, I own the gym, I do jiu-jitsu. Or I'm just teaching him boxing or whatever. He goes, oh, let's move around.
I'll definitely move
I would
around.
do it for sure.
I would definitely
I
move
would do it
around.
for
You would
sure.
box Hamzat.
Yeah, I'd box him.
Move around. It's
Move
different.
around.
It's different. Move around.
Let's move around.
If you wanna-
it's not
if you
full
wanna-
speed.
Yeah, if you
That
want to.
is subjective. Move around also means.
Yeah, but we're
let's
talking
spar.
Hamzat. He's a psychopath.
So I'll give you an example. I trained with
Because
Korean top
sorry to
team.
interrupt you.
Yeah.
Because for me, playing basketball for so long, I always tell the kids that I coach, if Kyrie Irving came up to me and said, let's play one-on-one, I'm going to give it my all. I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to be very, very ready. And the chances are, very, very high chance that I am going to lose. Like 99.9%.
Sure.
But I'm gonna go because I've trained so long in basketball. I've had so much experience. I can't allow myself to think that I'm inferior to this person.
But that's totally different when it comes to fighting. Like
what
you
kind
might
of Hamza
lose
do
a
we get?
limb or lose an eye. You know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah.
totally different, right? So I'm not saying like I'm scared of him. I should be. He's crazy. He's really good, right? I'm not at that level. Like, who am I kidding? Yes, I'm black belt jiu-jitsu. I have 35 years experience in martial arts, but I'm not an active. I'm just being realistic, right? I know it's hypothetical, but like I'm not an active MMA fighter, right? And there's so many factors that plays in, right? Like he's 20 years younger than me, probably more, right? Like he's 20 years younger than me.
Different weight class, probably.
Different weight
too,
class.
right?
Yeah, so there's so many factors. But if he comes to the gym, he's like, Meego, let's roll around. Let's do some rounds. 100%. 100%. But if it's like, let's go fight, it's like, no, like, this is not, like, no, I'm not, like, it's not, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because fighting, it's not like,
It's not like you don't.
Yeah.
You might not come out of it.
it's not I'm losing, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a fight.
Yeah, breaking your arm.
Yeah, and it's not realistic, you know what I mean? Like, it's, but again, like, let's move
So
around.
for you, Henry, like you're
move around.
actively competing. Who's the best in your weight class right now in the world? You would say.
The best in my
Loma,
weight
what's your weight?
class? Say 135.
So who would Ryan Garcia?
Hell no. Hell no.
So
Number one 135 pounder, in my opinion, it's Devin Haney right now.
Devin Haney. Okay, so
He has
Devin
all
Haney.
the
I was not gonna say. I was like, let me see what he's gonna
Yeah,
say.
okay, so
for
Devin
sure.
Haney.
Lomachenko, Tank Davis.
Yeah.
All those guys.
If I fight Tank Davis, god dang, like
How tall are these guys?
they're like
At
my height.
135.
They're like my height, little like
Small guys.
Tank
But,
Davis,
but like, no, just give me what height?
Tank Davis is shorter, probably.
yeah. Tank Davis
So,
maybe
but
a little bit short.
would
but
you
Lomas.
would you go into that, man, thinking I'm trying to win, like I'm right, but you also got to know, like Meego said, like it's combat. It's not like ball where it's like we play up to 11 one-on-one. The end of it, I'm just tired and good game, Kyrie. Good job. It's just like this person might hurt you.
So you're saying I'm fighting Tank Davis?
Right.
Straight up fighting Tank. I'm gonna do my very best.
Of course.
I'm gonna do my absolute very, very best. Tank Davis, Lomachenko, I'm gonna do my very, very best, and I'm gonna try my hardest
You're gonna give them a good
to
fight.
make
Yeah.
the changes or do what my body can absolutely do to make these changes.
But
do
there's
the
so
best
many
that
other
I
things,
absolutely
right?
can.
Like
Yes,
there's
there's so
fucking
many.
experience, man.
Experience,
There's
yeah.
experience. It's
Little
just-
things, you know. Some
Not
people on
even-
the inside, they'll move your hand a certain way, or they're gonna, like, for one thing, for example, they'll punch your arms.
Yeah, it's like you know,
You
like
know?
the way I see it is like if I say it's like, oh yeah, I'll go fight Hamzat, I'm disrespecting him. You know what I mean? I'm disrespecting all the hard work that he puts every day while I'm sleeping, or while I'm teaching class. Even he's fucking grinding on the ground,
Yeah,
right?
he's-
So I can't say it's like, oh yeah, I'll fight Hamzat. You know what I mean? Would I roll with him on the mat for jiu-jitsu like roll that I do every day with every training partner that I had? Oh, for sure. For sure, I roll. Like regardless of what's gonna happen, it's probably like it'll be one of my life highlights, right? Like I roll with Hamza, right? But if I say like, oh yeah, I'll take a fight against Hamza, I'll take a fight against GSP, right? Like I'm not gonna take no. I wouldn't do it.
You're also, that's also smart. You're like, why would I put myself
but
in
it's
danger?
disrespectful to his hard work that he put. I'm
Yeah,
not at that level.
You're right,
I'm not. Who am I kidding? I'm not at that
Unless
level.
you really push his buttons. Like, come on, Hamza, you fucking pussy. Hamza's this crazy
He'll
motherfucker.
throw the pina colada at your face.
Yeah.
I know, right? Fuck.
Yeah.
No, that's one guy. I really, because man, he's not even. He's like a psych. He's like weird. He always looks like he wants to hurt someone. It's
be
weird.
honest,
Even
I'm
when
not
he's
a-
being nice,
I'm not a big fan.
Hamza?
I like seeing him fighting, but I can't say like, oh, I really like him.
As a person.
Even as a fighter, he's a little bit too cocky. Like I like Habib's camp more.
Well, Hamza got hurt that fight.
Versus Gilbert Burns.
Dude,
He
go
got
for
hurt.
it. He's
He
almost
almost
like
beat
that
him.
was a fight, man.
Yeah.
He froze like.
But
he hit
regardless,
him and
I'm
he
not
froze
saying
a
like
little bit,
everybody
you
is
know?
invincible, but he's not the complete fighter
Well,
yet.
I like Gilbert Burns though.
Gilbert Burns is good,
he's a
man.
dog.
You know who's the complete fighter yet so far, from what we saw? Islam
Makachev.
Makhachev, dude. That guy is like
Savage.
that guy is. Mark my word, that guy is Habib 2.0.
Yeah. That's what Habib said. He's like, he's a better striker than me and just as good on
He's
the ground.
Habib 2.0, man.
Yeah.
I love and when he won the belt, it was like, oh, that was like the best. When he's
Man.
like, this is for Khabib's father, Khabib. Like these guys made me champion.
Those
like,
Dagestani guys, they're taking over, man, slowly.
Disciplined up the fucking wazoo,
Yeah.
dude.
But that's all they did all their lives. Like
They're born into
they're born into fighting, regardless, like it's wrestling or
There's video of
MMA.
Khabib
Like
wrestling
fighting.
a bear as a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Like what
To
else?
be
you
fair
want
though, the bear's chained up, but still.
But
Alex,
regardless,
you hear about that? Do you know? There's a UFC fighter that actually fought a bear when he was like 6 years old, like a baby cub.
yeah, his dad used to. He's 10.
Like
I
as a training method. Yeah.
wrestling a bear. Yeah, but that's what they did. Like that, those Chechen and Dagestani guys, they grew up the whole life fighting the government because they're Muslims in Russia, fighting the government, and literally they're like just, I don't want to say just militias, but they have their own militias. They're fighters. They're literally fighters. They go
The different.
and fight. Like they grew up.
Literally built different. Like
Yeah,
Like a
they are.
fighter from North Van.
imagine though, like what like the UFC like talks about. They're like, okay, Khabib's all gone. Oh, Islam. Like, fuck, this guy's just gonna run shit. Like,
But that's another thing we're talking about mentality, right? Like it's you see the difference between a fighter came from North Van and
Nothing is
comfortable-
North Van, but
No, but like for example, yeah. For example, someone coming from North America, right? And like regardless of like the tough life they've been through, I mean obviously there's some people that went through a lot of, like hardships and stuff. It's going to be totally different than if you're living in Russia or living in the Middle East. It's totally different. It's another level. Like you're talking about the fight or flight. That's another level.
at all times.
At all
Pretty
times.
much like
right? It's all
95% of the day, it's fight or
Exactly.
flight.
Like, it's not because I'm Middle Eastern. We lived in a war zone, right? Like, my first memory is the sirens and the bombing. Like, I remember it more than anything else.
Where'd you grow up?
In Iraq, Baghdad. So I grew up during the Iraq-Iranian war and then the second war. So we grew up in that, like there's always like this thing happening around us, right? Like fighting and guns and whatever. It's just like almost normal. We watch on TV, they call it, what does it call it? They call it in the battlefield or after the battle. And it's literally just camera, and they put it before the cartoons. And we only had, back in the day, there's 2 channels. So kids waiting for the cartoons at 10 a.m. And before 15 minutes before the cartoons, a cameraman walk around the battlefield just filming body parts in the battle. That I grew up. Like you're looking at, like you guys, all right? You guys thinking about it's like, holy shit, like I would have had, but that's how I grew up, dude. Man. Like it doesn't, it's, to a lot of people, especially North Americans, it's like, but like, I grew up like that. I saw it, right? I saw the American airline, Air Force, like come and bomb a building next to my house, a house next to my house. Right? Like, so we saw these things. We lived it. So, and this is nothing comparing to living in Dagestan. So these guys were bred fighters.
Christ.
Right? So it's different mentality. Right? So they literally, when he says, I'm either going to die, he probably have the mentality, I'll either kill or die.
And he's okay with it. It's like, I've seen everything. I've been through everything.
Exactly.
So you guys got though, Islam or Volk? Like, how do you guys see that playing out?
Ooh, well, you know what Khabib said about that? He said,
I don't like that fight.
Spilled out the game plan. He said, we're going to get Volk onto the cage, clinch, and
maul him.
And Khabib, like, very calmly described, like, just spilled out the whole game plan. And what's funny is Volk's not going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
I don't really know who's going to win, though.
So I like them both. That's why I don't like to see that fight. That's when people were talking about Khabib and GSP.
Sharp,
as a boxing, as like
as boxer, like I'm watching Volk strike, like I'm like, yo, this guy's sick. This guy's nasty.
So he'd be.
But what is he gonna do when he gets grabbed?
I feel like he got good hands to spar boxing for sure.
What is he gonna do when he get grabbed? Like he's gonna be
by a guy like Islam. I don't know, not much.
But listen, you saw Ortega. Ortega put Volk on the ground and he grappled with him, right? He didn't finish that fight because
I think it'll probably go as planned with what Khabib said. It's just gonna maul him.
But like the reason why I don't like this fight, it's like when you say people were talking about, oh, I want to see Khabib and GSP. I like them both. I don't want to see them fight.
Yeah, because one of them has to lose. One of them has to lose.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. Like who's gonna win? I don't know. I just don't want to see it. Yeah. Same thing with this one. I just don't want to see it. I really like them both.
This is a question I've had with a lot of my buddies. We don't really know how to answer because we're not, martial art, experts. Would Khabib beat Shaq in a fight? Seriously though,
dude, he out Russells.
DC, right? Yeah.
DC is
also
Olympic
like 5'11"
medalist.
though.
DC is Olympic medalist, heavyweight wrestler, like world level. Like he's one of the best of the best.
He destroy
right?
Shaq.
Habib will destroy Shaq.
Destroy Shaq.
Like complete, not a wrestling, like a fight.
Yes, destroy Shaq. He will destroy Shaq.
Oh yeah, destroy.
That's not even That's not even.
Dude,
he will.
What?
Why? What?
Shaq is 6'6"
on TNT.
Shaq is 7'3", like 300.
But what's his size? What's his size? You need to come and do jiu-jitsu.
I know, I really
calling
do.
You out
I know, man. I really need to.
When you know what? When you start doing jiu-jitsu and you start wrestling, you'll understand these things. You'll know and be like, oh yeah.
So you're telling me Shaq couldn't run at him just guns blazing, fists?
Why would he even grab him? Why would he even land one?
Mo hasn't learned the Cobra Kai method. Sweep the leg.
No chance.
No. If Shaq get on the ground, he's done.
Fight stands up. Starts standing
Shaq
up.
Is not a fighter.
Come on.
Shaq
how does Khabib?
Ridiculous question.
I know, right?
I know.
What are you talking about?
How is that ridiculous?
No, it's not ridiculous. It's
I don't
a genuine
think it's ridiculous.
question.
I really don't.
But
you know what? Like who's the best?
Who's
the best athletes? Obviously, who's the best athletes in NBA right now?
Well, LeBron still 6'8", 250.
Tyson Fury.
Habib will fuck up LeBron James. Will fuck him up.
Think about it. LeBron James is bigger than Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury would smash him.
Standing. Will smash him.
I understand. That I kind of get though. But dude, Shaquille O'Neal, Khabib's like 5'9", 5'8",
5'9", 5'8", 5'10", I think.
What is he? 155? 100.
That's when he fought. He's walking around 200 now, dude.
Or something. Sav Shaq versus.
Yo, this
Khabib.
is TikTok, Instagram. We need your thoughts on this, man.
Khabib
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Destroy?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Destroy.
It wouldn't last long. It wouldn't last long.
You know, I met Shaq one time. Kind of.
And he's an absolute behemoth, right?
He's huge. Like, this is when he had the big beard, and he actually came to Vancouver for Wee Day.
Right.
Okay, what's Shaq's speed if he throws a jab? What do you think? You probably can see his hand going.
Khabib could. I don't know. For the average Joe, probably not.
Right, it's like
Khabib might have to slip a little bit more
like,
than
right? Like,
usual.
yeah,
Are you telling me in an octagon, Shaq runs at Khabib full speed, like leg out?
Why would he even be
no,
able to catch him,
Shaq
dude?
would not run towards him. Knowing Shaq's not a dumb guy. He would more so like wait for something to happen and use his strength. That's the most.
Have you seen the
you're fighting
UFC one? What is his name? The sumo fighter. He got fucking kicked in the face until he got knocked out, man, by a 180 pound guy. Like, come on.
You think Ryan Garcia could beat Shaq in a boxing fight?
No, that's different.
Is it though?
That's different. That's boxing.
Yes,
We're not talking
Garcia beat
MMA.
Shaq in a boxing match.
Oh my
In a boxing
god,
match,
dude!
yeah.
Really?
You know,
But Ryan Garcia's been boxing since a kid too. It's not like he just jumped on the scene and decided to be like, like he's been doing this, you know.
All hypothetical as shit, but my god, take my money if they ever make that fight. Take my money.
I'll come to your place. You can pay for pay-per-view.
yeah.
I will,
I'm not paying for
man.
that. Like,
So wow, you both think destroy Shaq? Not even like.
so you're just
it'll be
Shaq's number one
close.
fan.
Not even like
He's
Shaq.
the biggest guy. That's what he's thinking.
Not even like Shaq will, last a couple rounds, maybe get a couple shots in, and then Khabib chokes.
You know
him
what's
out.
gonna happen? Shaq, if you think Shaq is gonna run, he's so slow, Habib's gonna take his back, choke him out. That's it. End of story.
But Shaq's 7'3".
So what?
Can Khabib even get?
Habib can climb on a fucking bear. He can.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? He'd climb on his back and choke him out. Shaq wouldn't be able to do anything. What would he do? If someone
is over.
If it's your neck, how big is your neck? How big is Shaq's neck? Habib's gonna be able to wrap his arm around it.
Right. Damn.
Might be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah,
Talking about
yeah.
sheer size
I'm
of
not
the
saying
arm.
like it's not gonna last 15 seconds. Probably last.
How
few
long would
minutes.
it last? Okay, that's a
I don't know. Maybe 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay,
with
so that's not bad. Shaq is
I mean,
lasting.
just because the struggle, right? Like the struggle of getting him strength, right?
Yeah.
But Shaq is like, again, he's gonna be, because he's big, he's gonna be slow.
Give him one UFC championship round, 1 5-minute round, or a UFC round, like a regular
UFC round. Okay, how about this? Shaq in his prime.
versus Khabib in his prime. Khabib.
But you're comparing apples to bananas, not even to oranges. Like even different shape. Like it's totally different.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's totally different sports. It's like saying if Shaq plays football, is he going to be good?
You think so?
Well, it depends on the position, right?
Yeah.
So it's different.
Damn.
Can't shoot a free throw. It makes you think he'll be a QB.
Yeah, right?
Standing like he's fucking
I
Joe
mean,
Montana.
dude,
Well,
Shaq had a
actually, like, I
40-inch
changed my mind. He'd probably be good at even defense.
Is there anyone that Shaq could beat in the UFC? That's a
There has to be. There has to be. Prime Shaq or Shaq now?
prime Shaq.
Prime Shaq.
Brandon Marino.
Give Shaq 6 months. Prime
So
Shaq.
you're saying Marino beats Shaq right now?
No. I
Yeah.
I love Shaq. You know?
Yeah. It's unfair to say Marino. Marino's even fucking smaller than Khabib, which is
Mighty Mouse, maybe?
yeah.
Mighty
What-
Mouse is amazing.
Which
but-
sport, boxing or MMA, causes the most head damage, brain damage? Because that's one thing, man. For me, I'm very conscious about like I don't know my head. So when I do get hit,
Yeah, so
People-
is a lot of people.
a lot of
A lot of people for sure.
I remember watching a segment. Bisbing was saying, Michael Bisbing, he was saying that boxing is actually worse because
Yeah.
when you're dazed, the ref actually stands you up and you're clearly fucking TKO.
The 8 counts.
The 8 count and then I'm good. And then
Yeah,
boom,
I mean,
more.
it's it's pretty much.
And also, do you guys ever get worried about that? Do you think about that?
Well, yeah.
That's why
I
we
mean,
train.
that's why I don't want to. That's why, yeah. That's why you train. That's why you train and work your defense. From experience, I think boxing is more because you can hit harder, right? Because you're wearing a glove and you feel safer, so you hit harder. So you're hitting the other person harder.
Fuck MMA gloves though. You're
MMA
wrapped
gloves,
up like that shit hurt. That's just like a brick
it
in your
hurts,
hand.
but you have other tools. So it's not a head. Like, what do you think? Like when a boxing match,
I don't know. Like it's like,
I know it's kind of like. I mean,
both
we have
take
more.
crazy punishment, you know.
We have more data on boxing because it's been longer. I think.
But like you think like if you're catching elbows,
Knees.
Yeah,
catching knees to the face, like.
But you don't
I will
always.
say boxing.
Yeah, you don't
take
always
more
hit
punishment.
the,
But again, like I think
head.
like in UFC, like
I don't know. I think I'm
like
pretty much the
you
same.
take some vicious like.
Maybe because they're shorter rounds, like I mean shorter fight, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Like
yeah,
in MMA, it's shorter,
Shorter.
right? And like boxing is more like literally everybody's going for the head. Like 80% of the time, they're going for the head. In MMA, you kick legs, kick body, punch, grapple.
Grapple, yeah.
Right?
Wrestle on the
Wrestle.
ground. Yeah.
So maybe like because
We'll say boxing.
I think it's boxing.
We'll say boxing.
I mean, from data, you look at people after boxing careers
Yeah.
are messed up.
But like that one kick from Leon Edwards to Usman, that's like, that one kick was fucking more.
10,000 brain damage.
Yeah,
brain
more
cell
than
damage.
a full fucking boxing fight.
that's
though.
what
Like that
thing
one
is
was
too
a
is
fucking
that like
nuclear.
after some people get hurt, like that, some people say they don't come back the same. Like, and as you get older, like your chin starts to go. You guys watch what was it? Is Chuck Liddell versus
Oh, man.
Tito Ortiz?
Oh man, he missed that punch and he fell.
Yeah, he missed it. He dropped him.
Chuck fell.
like gone, like just
Yeah.
He's older
like
and-
just dropped.
Yeah, his chin. I mean, again, training, right? Training methods.
Mm.
If you spar hard all the time, like your
that
chin
was
is
a
gonna
sick
go,
knockout,
man. It's
though,
just the
man.
body's like wear and tear.
And the type of fighter like Nate Diaz, you can see he's starting to like slur his words. I love Nate Diaz. He's my favorite, but he's just
I
no.
don't think he doesn't have a lot of like brain tissue anyway, so he already.
No, but it's when you watch him in The Ultimate Fighter, because that's where he first came up.
Yeah.
He was younger, way younger. He was a kid. You could see he was way more coherent. He actually.
I love
Spoke without his-
I loved watching that show.
I love
Growing
that
up.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom would never let me watch it, but it was weird at times.
Let me bang, bro.
Yeah, let me bang,
Man,
bro.
bro, yeah.
Let me bang, bro.
Worst.
Dude, just
Worst
a bunch
ever.
of dudes, fucking testosterone. Just
Yeah.
remember the one episode where the guy like pisses in the fucking fruit cup thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like he like makes him like, and the guy like starts eating. It's
But
just-
see what's
fighters-
See,
yeah.
that's the difference between those guys. Like they just want to bang, and fighters like that's why I prefer certain fighters over the others. Like just not on the ring. Like that's why I love GSP. He came from a martial arts background. He's respectful. He comes in. He doesn't say shit.
Just gets the job done.
He gets the job done. A lot of people call him boring fighter, but you know what? He's probably has the most brain cells left in his body, in his head, right?
Him and
He's all over
Khabib.
the
Him and
commercials.
Khabib. I would
And
say.
Habib, yeah, Habib same,
Yeah.
right? Like they're smart fighters. They go, they fight, they have a game plan. If you're a boxer, they're gonna wrestle you. If you're a wrestler, they're gonna box you. Whatever.
They go in as
Habib
a-
always had the
yeah.
same game plan, but GSP is different. Always respectful. Like he represented the MMA as a martial art in its best.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I remember that time.
At
Like,
its best.
like GSP represented the UFC, like
Yeah.
and
Everything.
MMA, like
yeah, everything it stood for, like it was
Yeah,
GSP.
GSP.
Wow.
And also, like, what a good person to, like, if you're gonna have one person to look up to that could represent that's the kind of person. Like, I feel like people that spend too much time focusing on psychological warfare and like doing the whole thing with the pissing in the cup or whatever, it's just like you're just a thug.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you might have some skill, you might be pretty good, but that to me is not appealing at all.
No, it's not. It's not.
And you're not gonna be as successful. It's just if you're that type of person.
I think that same guy fights in bare knuckle.
Oh, here you go.
Who?
Let me bang, bro. That guy.
Yeah, like he does fight on.
He does fight bare knuckle.
yeah.
And honestly,
Is that
when
is the white guy, right?
With
Is he
Mohawk.
white?
it's,
Yeah,
what's his name?
yeah. I know he. I got it.
Not Liam. No, forgot his name. Anyway.
I was thinking about the black guy that was like, "Roar, roar," the fucking
No,
dark
no,
barking
no.
shit.
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
this guy started barking at me like, "Oh, oh, 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 oh."
Yeah, man. You see a lot of
Like, what the fuck
douchebags
is
and
that?
Yeah, you
What
see
are
a lot
you
of
doing,
douchebags.
man?
But again, like people came from different backgrounds, right? Like that's why you see, for example, like I said, I mean, I'm gonna go back to GSP. He came from a like traditional martial arts background. We went to the same camp actually for Kyokushin in Japan. So like that's all about respect and like we walk in and we all scrub the gym, right? Like so we came from that traditional martial art discipline, right? So you're not gonna go talk shit. I mean, obviously it's personality too, because some people come from like they still talk shit, but it's just, yeah, it's my preference. I like to be a fan of someone like that, respectful,
Right.
yeah, but not like, yeah, like the reason why, for example, I liked in the beginning, I liked McGregor, but then he just became like his persona that he built, it became reality.
He's so far
He
gone.
built a persona, and then it became him, right? He just became a real douchebag, not just a persona. So like I'm like he's done to me. He's dead. With boxing, the same.
Yeah, some people like, for example, Floyd Mayweather. He said like, I had to become like the bad guy. Like I had to embrace it. You know, when he fought Oscar De La Hoya, like he had to be the bad guy.
He's the only guy though that openly admitted that he was doing it for money, but also dominating. You know what I mean? He was the only guy that the money didn't actually get to him because he never lost, right?
Debatable.
Now that I think about that.
Debatably never
Debatable.
lost.
fight.
You can
Debatably
you
never
can
lost.
There's a couple. There's one. I think it was like his 10th fight or so. He's fought one guy, and it was actually like a tough fight. Like you could have went either way. Most people will probably say in modern, they'll say Maidana, the first one.
I think even his fight, I wouldn't say he might lost, but it was really close. His fight with Canelo.
Blowout.
Floyd blew him out,
Blew him out of the water.
so not close.
Blew out of the water.
You think so?
Beat Manny Pacquiao too.
Yeah,
He fucked up Pacquiao. I remember that.
He didn't fuck him up.
He didn't fuck him up, but Pacquiao just
he
didn't do
just
shit.
beat him.
Yeah. He just
10-9.
yeah.
10-9.
Yeah.
You give Pacquiao a couple rounds, but
Dude, Connor clipped him on a left.
Yeah, but it's
everybody- I
different.
was
Do you remember that
watching- I was
left, that
watching this
uppercut left?
Yeah, he did. He landed.
He did, but it's different when you're going there again, being cocky, like me sparring with someone who've never sparred before. I'm gonna drop my hand.
It didn't
and,
look
I mean,
that
like,
hard.
No,
though.
but dude, even there's like this clip on YouTube where his kids are watching, and on the side they're like, "Come on, Dad, what are you doing?" To Floyd,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they were like, "Yo, like Connor's
same thing-
clipping
yeah,
you, man."
I
Like,
think
I
he's a
watched this
fighter.
whole thing. Is a room full of my friends. Everyone's like,
same dude. That
watching it.
shit was so
I'm
live.
the only one. I was like, listen, guys, I'll bet my life savings. This guy's not gonna win.
on
Look at him dead in
Connor?
the face. Yeah, these guys wanted Connor to win. I'm like, I look at him dead in their face. I got so mad.
Stop hanging out with these
I
guys.
will-
as okay.
Net, like, I put my life savings, put it on the table right now.
Yeah, I know. No.
as a boxing as a fan, like a regular fan, I just thought of it. This is a fight. Anything can happen. One clip, one little hit to the right on the sweet spot. Floyd, you never
He
know.
was hitting him in the back
That's
of the
my
head.
thing. You never.
You know,
He's
like
taking
he
his
was
back.
doing some other stuff, and he was like, you know, kind of
He's
rabbit
taking his
punching
back.
it,
He's
taking his back.
going-
Even a couple of analysts the next day were like,
Of course.
Connor could have.
It's like
Yeah, I know.
it's like his fight Mayweather with Paul, right? It's not. It was like Mayweather was sparring. He was sparring. Do you
He's
think
that
if he-
good, huh? He's that.
Do you, of
Yo,
course, man.
he's-
Of course.
He's-
Do you
There's
think
this
if
one
he?
interview online where this guy, like, that fought him his last fight, Andre Berto, he was like, when he look at you and he make you miss, like, he'll like smile and look at you while you're missing. He's like,
Yeah.
Wow. That's so hot.
He's like laughing.
His work ethics.
That's so
He's like laughing at you, like
Speaking like partying and
so
stuff,
hot.
his work ethics are crazy. Like when he's
psych, like yeah,
he
also
goes
parties and shit. Like he
does not drink.
doesn't
Actually,
party like that.
doesn't
he does
drink.
not. No, well, he does drink obviously, but he does not like go party hard. He's not that guy. Like they say after fights, he's the guy sitting and just like hanging out and drinking water or juice after his fights. His work ethics are, and he would go run for next day.
That guy's a cleaner. He's a Tim Grover book. He's a cleaner.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather. Get the job done.
Yeah.
Unreal. There's levels to it. Alex, is that it? Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. But I want to wrap with talking about Steven Seagal.
Oh yeah,
The notorious Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal. So, funny story. One day, one of our good friends, Bam Bam, he's a producer, he's a director now. He used to own BC Stunts, I think it's called. He's like one of the biggest stunt organizations here. So he called me. He's like, "Hey, Meego, he's like, you're Persian, right? You're Middle Eastern." I'm like, "No, I'm from Iraq, but like, yeah, I'm Middle Eastern." He's like, "Okay, I have this. Do you know how to act?" I'm like, "I've never done it before." But it's like, "What is it?" He's like, "I'll send you the lines. Send it, film it in front of the camera and send it to me." It's like, okay. So a guy named Khalil, send him the line, whatever, and at the end it would end up being, the second hand. I'm the right hand of a bad Middle Eastern guy, and we're like, we're gonna film again with Steven Seagal. So we're like, Steven Seagal is the good guy. He's gonna come and catch us in what is it called? The movie True Justice 2.
Through Justice too.
Yeah. So anyway,
I love that movie.
we went. I've never even watched it. So I go there, and Steven Seagal is like in Richmond. So I did 3 days of acting, and then there was the day that I'm gonna fight the guy, and so we were on set, and they setting up everything. The stunt guys gave me all this like backgrounds, like, be careful, this guy. The first thing he's gonna do, he's like, hey, he's gonna shake your hand and hit you in the nuts, kick you in the nuts. Does it? He's like, oh, hey, were you in a cup? Pop. He's just gonna pop you in the nuts. That's the first thing he does. What? Yes, dude. Right? I'm like, oh shit. So I'm wearing a suit. Right? Why? Exactly. Why? So they were like, don't ever tell him your martial arts background. And if he's gonna throw you and stuff, just go with it. It's like back in the day when you're doing the shows and you just go with it. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna throw myself and like I'm not gonna. And he's like, when he usually comes and meets people, don't challenge him or like feel like he's challenged. Don't give him your martial arts background because he's gonna challenge every martial arts you've done. I'm like, okay, that's good. So they patted me under my suit. Full, dude, like almost full suit under my pad suit, under my suit, right? With a cup, hip, back, shoulder pads, elbow pads, knee pads.
How old were you at this?
That was like 10 years ago. That was not long ago.
Okay.
Right? The set was like probably 50 people. And so I heard that he was supposed to throw me through a wall and like whatever.
Jeez.
So I heard the filming got delayed. So I heard that the guy, Persian guy, kickboxer, really high level kickboxer, he's a stunt dude, had a fight in a fight scene with him the day before. The same day in the morning, and he beat the shit out of the guy, like literally beat the shit out of the guy.
Steven Seagal beat the shit out.
Yes, he went over the top to the point that they had to come and like grab Steven. Seagal. Like, okay, we're done. The set is done. He's like, oh, okay. Send the guy to the hospital. There was one of the scenes that he's supposed to throw him through like whatever, like they had, like the prop, whatever, washroom. He throw him through that, he breaks the toilet, and he grabs his face, real mirror, and smashes his face to the mirror multiple times. Rear mirror. But all these guys, stunt guys, they sign waivers, right? So you're gonna do everything.
I was gonna say,
Sent to
the
the guy.
waivers missed something. Like that's assault, bro. Like
Yeah, sent the guy to the hospital, dude.
What I'm more curious about is, does he not realize he's filming a movie? Like,
You want to make it realistic.
You're supposed to be simulating
Yeah,
movements.
you want to make it
You're
realistic.
not actually making real contact with
He
people.
does, though.
Because all that's done with camera angles.
He does,
Does
though.
the director not say anything? Like, do they not?
I'll tell you about that.
Okay.
So each character in the movie, they have number, right? So I was number 2. So there's number 1. My boss in the movie, I was number 2, and everybody has a number. He's number 0. I didn't know what I didn't notice. So we're there in the set, getting everything ready. They patted me up and they talked to me. The stunt guy told me what the scene is going to be, how is the fight is going to be, and it's a long fight scene. They were worried because it's my first stunt movie, and I was more. My contract is more like an actor, not a stunt guy, right? But it's fine. I was getting paid double that day. That's another story. So sorry, it's gonna be long. So he comes in and everybody's like, number 0's here, number 0's here. I'm like, what the fuck? And everybody's super quiet. 50 people on set, super quiet. You can hear if you drop a pin, you can hear it. And number 0 comes in and he's like walking. It's like Steven Seagal. He walks in and his hand is on his belly and he's like, oh. And there's like 3 super weird 3 Japanese girls behind him. Like really young, teeny. And he's like just walking behind him and he's like, okay. So then he's like the director, I forgot his name, they come to him. He's like a little puppy, dude. The director who runs the show. He comes in, okay, sir, so this is what you're gonna do, this is what you're gonna do, this is what you're gonna do. And I'm standing there in my queue, like where my...
He's scared of him.
Everybody's scared of him, dude.
I've heard the story many times. He instills
Everybody,
fear
like, I'm telling you,
on
nobody's
the sets of his
talking.
movies.
Nobody's talking. The set is full of extras, lightmen, like everything, right?
What?
Nobody's talking, right? The director comes in, he's like, yeah, okay. So where's the guy I'm fighting now? Where is he? So he's like, I forgot his name. Anyway, the director is like, there he is. So he's like, he called me. So I walked in. I was like, Sensei, I did this. He's like, so I gave him respect. So he's like,
but you showed him the martial arts.
yes. So he's like, shh. He seemed like getting, he's like, oh, hi. He does this. He's like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Iraq. Oh, I speak Arabic too. Do you speak Arabic? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah. He's like starting saying like, bitch, pussy, blah, 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 dick.
Oh, wow.
In Arabic, right? He's like, he wants to show me that he knows all these words. I'm like, oh yeah, ha ha ha. And he's like,
Trying to connect with you in his own fucked up way.
yes. And that's it. Then he put his hand on my shoulder, like he just like hugs me. And he's like, calls the director, he's like, we're changing the scene. I'm not gonna fight this guy. We're gonna do the scene in Arabic. There's a full conversation. We're gonna do the scene in Arabic. He's gonna teach me. And I'm not gonna fight him. He's gonna attack me with a knife. And I'm gonna take the knife from him and stab him.
And who needs
to
this
fight this guy? I already had my share of fights today. The fans don't want to see fighting anymore. And he's like, put this camera here, put this camera here. And I was like, everybody's like, what? And setting up cameras, it's not like, yeah, we'll do it in 2 minutes. It's like,
Well, it's not just that. It's like, well, we have to block this. I've heard this story too, because on camera, like the lingo used, blocking a scene.
yes.
And it's not just cameras; it's the lighting. People have to light the
Everything.
actors. It takes time.
Everything.
You don't snap your fingers
Change
and say,
everything,
you
change
can't
the
do
lens
that.
angles, change the lens angles, started talking about use this lens, use that lens, use this filter, use that filter, told them everything that they do, took me, and we walked away from the scene, chatting, trying to teach him the words that he was supposed to say. The director freaking out, anybody here can speak Arabic? Nobody. He's like, it's fine, he's gonna teach me. And I could have made him say anything I want. Nobody would have known. I would have made him see like, I'm a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? Like I could have made him say anything.
Huh.
Right? They set up, we went, we had juice from the whatever, and like we're chatting, he's telling me like just bullshit stories. We came back. I don't know why he made that connection with me. We came back. We did the scene. He grabbed the knife from me, stabbed me, threw me on the ground, and walked away. And everybody's like, what the fuck just happened? And that's it. That was like, you didn't even throw a punch at me. Nothing. Like literally, I'm talking to him and I pull a knife from my sleeve and I just like try to attack him. And he grabs a knife, take my back.
I have to see this
Stab
movie
me in the
now.
neck.
I got to see this train wreck.
Would you even trust him fucking stabbing you, dude? Like,
No, it's a prop
real
knife.
knife.
okay, yeah. I was like, yo, you just bashed some fucking guy's head in
No,
the
it's a prop knife. They showed me the knife because I had it. So it's like a what do you call it? Like a quick release, but when you do it, it goes in.
Blade sinks
The
in.
blade sinks in.
But here's the question: Is he? Do you think he's in a real fight? Like, is he a genuinely like? Could he beat someone pretty hard? Like, is he tough? I know he's out of shape, but he's still a big guy and he looks strong.
Exactly. When he grabbed me, he felt really strong, right? I mean, again, I was going with it. I wasn't trying at all. I didn't want to put myself in that position.
Yeah.
I'm a paid actor.
Because as goofy as he is, he still has training. He still has martial arts. So you have to be...
But like again, like would he fight? Would he win against Shaq? Probably Shaq will destroy him. You know what I mean? Like because again,
Steven Seagal or Khabib, like
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my
Habib,
God.
Habib will fucking kill him. But you know, like he did have background, but like he's an actor at the end.
I'm curious to know what the fear aspect was with that guy.
Money.
Why?
He's a producer. He's like all the production company. That being said, they delayed my checks. They sent me with the first check. They delayed my check. It was I think close to $7,000, 3 days acting. They sent me a first check. It was like $600 for the first 2 hours. I think I did the first day. It was just the opening scene. You need to look that up. And then the other checks were delayed, and they kept delaying it, and then I'm not registered. I'm not in what do you call it?
You're not in the union.
I'm not in the union, so I'm like and I never got paid.
I think he has his own production company.
Yes.
He has people that help him fund, like he raises the money.
Yeah, he does.
A lot of the production resides on his responsibility.
Exactly. That's why everybody's scared of him. Yeah. So they created that company. They create a company, and they produce the show, and then it dissolves right after it's like a time period. So the company literally dissolved, and I never got paid. I don't know how many people.
He's hilarious because he does like I like a couple of his early movies, but that's about it. He shits out some piece of crap every single year. But like if you go way back, like 35 years or something, way back to like Under Siege, that was kind of a fun movie. But again, he didn't produce it, he didn't direct it.
No, he didn't.
Right?
But he's like, and not only that, he's like a dirty motherfucker. Because like, so the idea was my character was in a broth hall. And like I had all these girls around me and stuff, and so he's supposed to be following me, right? So we're walking, and that's the second day in that scene, like because now we became buddies, right? In his head, so he's telling me about like, oh look at these girls, look at that. I'm like,
Oh wow,
yeah, dude. So in one of the scenes that I walk out of the room with my girlfriend in the show, and I walk out. And then he follows me. Then he sees someone go in another room. So he goes there, and there's this girl sitting in a tub, and she was supposed to be. She's wearing bikini, but in the tub, she's actually like supposed to be naked under the tub, right? And there's like, we spent 2 hours because he needed to change the scene, and they had to convince her that she has to come out of the tub naked to put the bathrobe on.
He's got a track record for that. I don't know if you guys have, if you haven't seen this,
my mom used to love him too.
Watch a recent episode of Tom Segura's podcast, Your Mom's House, where he had Al Franken talk about Steven Seagal's SNL appearance. Was like notorious, the #1 worst host ever. And he goes into detail about when they were trying to behind the scenes in the writer's room trying to build these sketches with him. And Steven Seagal's like, I got a story. Well, so I'm a psychiatrist. It's something like this, like I'm a psychiatrist and like I hypnotize this girl, and then when she's out, I have sex with her. And they're all speechless. They're all looking at him like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
You can't put that on TV.
I have so many
You're
stories.
basically talking
I worked
about
with a lot of
raping somebody.
actors, and I have so many stories I can't say them on it.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal, man. I remember my family used to
There
think
was a
he's
time
like a
when
sick
he
guy.
came to Vancouver and he was filming. He was filming at my local community center.
Right.
That's what the film I did. It was in Vancouver.
Raycam. He was at Raycam Community Center.
No, he films in Vancouver all the time.
Yeah,
because
but then,
he's
and
banned
then like
from
I
the
remember
States.
they were saying like,
He's
yeah, there it is.
Actually, he's banned in Canada now.
He's
He's
here?
banned in Canada. He's only in Europe. He only
Now
films
he's
in
banned in Canada too.
Yeah.
Fucking guy.
He's
Mr.
fucked up
Seagal,
so many
come on
people.
here and explain
Dude, I
yourself.
never thought he was that good of an actor. I never thought his
He's not-
movies
They
were
let him
sick.
play
I never
John
thought he was
Wa-
sick. I never thought his
No,
like,
he's
nothing
horrible.
was
He's
cool.
horrible. But I mean, but like you said, like probably one of the first movies, one of the only movies that I remember of him is Under Siege. Like that's the only one I can,
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
it was not bad. Like
Jesus Christ.
Generations too, right? Like we're saying, oh yeah, Steven Seagal.
Great
He was
story.
in that
That's a
movie
funny.
with
That's
DMX too, wasn't he? Cradle to the Grave. He was in that one, right?
Yes,
dude. I can't tell.
Love watching that movie. That was classic.
DMX?
DMX.
Jet
Jet
yeah.
Li was in it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You kind of remember that.
Black
you
Jade
say-
or whatever was like kind of the thing.
Right.
Mr. Seagal. Damn.
Let's end it on that, dude. That was good, man. Fuck, episode 31. Enjoy your 24. Henry
Awesome.
Pham, Meego in the building, man.
Thank you for having us. This is
Yeah,
Thank you for
thanks for
coming,
having us.
man.
It was awesome.
This was really dope.
awesome.
This is really good. Your Instagrams, your anything you want to promote. This is where.
Go for it.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at hp.boxingcoach.
Yes, sir.
I'll just give my business Instagram, Hero Academy _MMA.
Yes, sir.
Follow us.
Two coolest people in martial arts and the MMA community, in my opinion.
Thanks.
So
You'll meet more.
I'll meet more now. Yeah. But thank you for coming on, man. That's it means a lot, and this was fun. This is really
dope.
fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
thank you
having
for
us.
having us, man.
Yeah. Enjoy 24. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yep. Peace.